All right, the new meme similar to Let's Go Brandon might have just been created. I mean, we've been seeing Ultra Maga, things like that. But $8, that might be the new meme going forward to piss off these woke people. So Elon is going to let you have a blue check mark. I mean, you if you're famous, he's gonna have something underneath, so like that's a public figure or whatever, like a famous person. But everyone will be able to get a blue check mark if you pay $8 a month. And all these people on the left are freaking out, and a lot of these it's because they think that the big thing is their status is being taken away. Um, you have like these journalists, like Tim Pool was saying, like they might have like 10,000 subscribers or something like that, or followers, what have you, and they have a blue check mark. Well, they're really pissed because they hold on to that status, which is a good thing. That's what I want. I want status. I want respect. Um, Notoriety, of course, because I don't want to do these fucking boring, monotonous jobs. Um, anyway, um, they're really upset. And uh, so he wants to do this, and you can still use Twitter for free. You just won't be verified, a real person. Like you won't be, you'll be taken more serious if you have if you pay money because bots don't have they ain't paying, right? So you'll be taken more serious by people. Um, and he's doing this because a lot of these people that were advertising said they're not going to support Twitter no more, and that's the thing when it comes to business. You're finding like Kyrie and Kanye. They're finding out if you say certain things that go against, um, like if you're relying on an income from a big corporation and you say something that goes, that's bad, and their name is attached to you. You're a brand. They're selling you. So if you say something they don't like, I'm sure there's something in the contracts where they could just like say see ya and cut ties with you. Like if you let's just say you're a big famous person and um, there's this like and you go to prison or whatever, or you get charged with something, or you just say something, I don't know. It's a business. So that's why some people don't want to pick a side, these famous people. They just don't want to pick a political side because they're trying to sell a product. Um, they want to keep their standard of living high. They want to stay rich. And that's just the way the system is right now. It's an old fucking system, outdated system that needs to be replaced by something way better that could be more beneficial to the average person, um, because it's becoming over bloated and you're having like a few rich people and then everybody else is fucking poor, and then they're relying on us to continue to keep the infrastructure going. You're not gonna see no fucking famous blue check mark going into the sewer, digging out the fucking sewer. No, you're still relying on us to make your fucking cell phones. You're still relying on us to provide power, internet connection. There's a bad storm, power lines go down. Well, there's people that risk their lives to go out there and fix those power lines. So, you know, the things that are happening that these rich people aren't really thinking too well. Like they're thinking, oh, I'll have a ton of power over people. We'll be able to tell them to do whatever we want. Well, when you have a small group of people, and you have people that are just like, this ain't fucking worth it. I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna have people possibly backlashing harsh to the upper people. Um, like this whole system, I think is needs to be updated, needs to be reformed. Um, we don't need socialism. There needs to be certain safety nets for people. Like for instance, if something happens to me, like I break my leg and I'm out of work for or something. Let's just say I tear my Achilles and I'm out of work for 9 months. Well, I'm bankrupt. Okay, like that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen at all. Um, the healthcare system is so um, the reason why the healthcare system is so high, some of it's price gouging. I'm not gonna say it's not. I'm not gonna say that these oil companies don't price gouge like these people on the left say. I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen because I think it does happen. But the big thing is you have so many people who are unhealthy here in America, so they have to go to the doctor all the fucking time because they don't take care of themselves. So we need some type of system that supports multiple factors in somebody's lives that doesn't prevent them, like, oh, I can't speak freely, like, oh, if I say something you don't like, I'm going to be fired, I'm going to be shut down. um there needs to be some type of uh social currency where you can flip a crypto or what have you into different currencies. They need to have all different types of currencies so these big banks can't just like shut people down, um, and control people. The problem is big corporations. That's the problem, and that's a form of these people on the left. They always advocate for socialism and communism, but that leads to the same problem, and they don't look at that. They think, oh, everybody's going to make the same. Well, the people at the top don't make the same. The people at the top are living in luxury, and everyone at the bottom are serfs. It's the same thing as an oligarchy system where you get the king and queen at the top and all the serfs at the bottom. It's the same thing with ultra capitalism, unfettered capitalism, unregulated capitalism, where you have a centralized power at the top controlling everyone at the bottom. Now, there should be, when you have a society, you definitely need to have some type of authority, some type of leadership, but there needs to be some type of decentralization that keeps that power in a check. And if they have full power with like these corporations, these umbrella corporations, that own all these other little companies, what it does is it's hard to, given with all the technology we have in communication, it's hard to get something to the other. It's harder to like relay a message or even to relate at all to anybody in the company. If I'm like a big huge brand like BlackRock and I'm taking ownership in all these or full out buying these companies like Amazon bought, uh, just buy, what is that, Whole Foods or whatever, and just becoming more and more monopoly, like they keep monopolizing certain industries. um if they're becoming too big to fail, so when people rely on that service, they can have complete power. So they should never there should be some type of restriction to how much power somebody can have. um and that's the government's supposed to be breaking up monopolies. They're not even supposed to be happening. But there's a lot of corrupt individuals in Congress and the Senate that allow it. They're not doing their job, probably because they're getting their grease, their hands greased, their palms greased by them, by potential favors in the future or whatever. maybe some type of information that the rest of the public doesn't know. Um, so the best thing to do is corporations need to be eliminated. People are so brainwashed by brands. I see it. Oh, if you drive a Ford or you drive a Chevy, blah blah blah. Like they talk shit on us. Like, dude, it's a vehicle. Like, who gives a shit? What does it matter? It's just a you know if you don't wear Nike or a certain brand, you're looked down on. Like that's like high school shit. It's so funny to me that like, okay, I'm wearing Under Armour. I partaken in this, but I haven't bought any of this shit. I don't buy any of this name brand shit anymore. Um, it's like I'm paying a bunch of money for this right here, just for this, not for the fucking hoodie. This hoodie probably costs like a couple of bucks to make because they probably made it in some other country with slave labor. But you're paying for this, you're paying for the brand, and then not only am I paying top dollar for this hoodie, but I'm also on here. I'm giving them free advertisement on my channel. They're getting free advertisement. They're given free advertisement everywhere I walk around. So is that's something that people need to you know understand what's happening. If they should be paying me to wear their shirt. You know what I mean? Like, these companies that want us to advertise should be paying us to be it's free advertisement, and we're duped into this high school type of, oh, well, you gotta have an Audi, you gotta have a Mercedes, or you're not cool, or you don't fit in. Like, and it's getting worse. And the funny thing is, when you have something like that, you're not gonna attract somebody that really even gives a damn about you. They just care about your money. And with females, it's they're really bad with this because they care too much about what other females think and their family. Um, it's not like it. It's not like working with that person. Like, they find some regular dude, and they see potential for them to build something special together. It's especially if she was to push him a little bit. I already want it done for me. This society is like, that's just because that's the way they were raised. Um, that's why you're seeing a huge portion of this next generation be spoiled because everything's done for them. And the boomers think that they went through like tough times or something, and like they weren't spoiled, and they're fucking dead wrong. Their parents went through fucking real tough times. They actually had nothing. Now, boomers like to say, well, they don't have, we didn't have video games back then. Well, you did things. You had a different time, a different day and age. Like, you had TV, you had bikes and shit. Like, if when you lived in the depression times and you're a kid, you literally had nothing. You were lucky to get a meal a day. So, like, and there's people that live like that right now in this world. So, yeah, this generation is more spoiled than their generation, but they doesn't mean that their generation wasn't spoiled at all, because they were. Um, so it's just like it's really confusing situation, because understanding that you need people in charge, right? But it's just we need smaller companies. We need smaller shops. We need smaller. Um, we don't need corporations. We need corporations to be gone. Same with our federal government. Our federal government is pretty much just a giant corporation, and giant corporations, they're just big cogs that it's just a form of it's just like enslaving people, and we need to get away from enslaving people. um like we all need to work. We all need to work to provide for ourselves and be independent as much as possible. So we can't all specialize in everything. I can't, even if I wanted, like, I'm not going to be an expert at everything, you know. I'm not going to be a jack of all trades. um I'm not going to know how to build a house from scratch, um do the wiring, do all the plumbing. um what else? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be an expert in all these fields, so you're going to have to rely on somebody to help you. And that's what, like, there might be people out there like that, that know everything, like they know how to fix complete, they can do all that, and that's cool. But that's not the average person. We have to rely, especially as things get more sophisticated, like when the newer cars come out. You know, this is, you're gonna need somebody. You're gonna need somebody skilled to fix it. You know, like, okay, you can build your house from scratch and everything, and you can do all that like with your hands. But what if you want the internet too, or stuff like that, or your computer goes down or whatever? Like, you need somebody to help you fix that stuff. Um, it's That's what I'm saying. You need community. You need some type of trade, and we need to be able to work to um, be able to bank our hard work into something. You know, they use seashells before, gold, silver. We use paper right now and digital type of things, but we need to be able to, if we put work out there, we should be rewarded, and we should be able to bank it. We should have to pay our bills, but like this whole thing with the economy, just like it, these people are so smart, they can't think of anything better. It needs to be more of a complex type of system. The more complex our society gets, the more complex systems we're going to need. And I think that AI can help out tremendously with this. Um, you know, we don't need a monopolized currency. We need multiple currencies. We need to be able to flip our currencies, whatever the hell currency it is. You know, like, I get a currency for being healthy, eating right, um, exercising, and then I can flip that currency into another currency and then use it wherever, and be able to. It's just like adding all these currencies and being able to store them, so I can pay for future bills. Because this system that we have with Social Security and the 401ks and that type of shit, like, if I was just to keep my money in a 401k, and I'm sure somebody who is way more smarter than me with all the financial shit, um, will be like, oh, blah blah blah, you can put it in this and this. Yeah, you can put it in different things and make more money, but it's more risk. My if I put money, if I save money, if I put money in savings or whatever, some type of retirement, my money should not be devaluing, okay? Because our currency is being inflated. My um whatever labor I put in, whatever savings I put in, whatever I accumulate, and I want to save for the future, it should not be devaluing. Um, but that's how they get us, continuously printing out more money, devaluing our currency, devaluing our savings. It's not something that has been dramatic as this year. The devaluation of our money. You had the 2008 recession and all that, but um, you should be able to put something. You should be able to save for the future and have a safe place for it without it being tarnished by these huge companies that want to inflate the currency, to take away their debts, to take away, to siphon from the middle class, and gain more wealth. They manipulate markets, they manipulate systems for their own benefit. Um, this is way over my head. There should be somebody that's way more smarter, that can implement this type of, that's way more financial savvy, that can implement something that takes a lot of different forms of currency. It's just the only thing that gives currency value is the trust in it. That's what gives it value. Um, I was gonna say something and I forgot. Maybe we should just cut the video off. Um, we don't need like a socialist type of society. We need some type of incentive, um, to keep us moving forward. Why would I? Why would I work hard, or work extra hours if I'm making the same as if let's just say I'm a rocket scientist, if I'm making the same as somebody who cleans the bathrooms? Why would I work hard? I'm not going to. So the socialism and communism that's being proposed has never worked. And I agree with a lot of these people on the left when they talk about their problems, like the problems we have, the problems with capitalism. But I don't agree with their solution as capitalism and socialism, because it just does not fucking work. It'll work for now. Like it'll if you brought in more socialism, yeah, it works for now. We've seen that with the pandemic, right? When everybody was getting paid to not work. So what happened? We have all this huge inflation, printing out all this money. These people didn't work as much. We shut down a big portion of the economy, and it worked for that time being, right? It worked, yeah, it did. But what about the future? And that's what they don't think about, is the future. They don't think about the huge inflation that happens because printing out this money is just kicking the can down the road. And that's what our government really does, is it just kicks the can down the road constantly. Instead of dealing with the problems, it just gets bigger and bigger and more complicated, and just needs to get less and less and more decentralized, and keep things up to the actual states. And the only thing the federal government should really be focused on is protecting the states. That's it. It shouldn't be getting involved in um, college tuition. It shouldn't be getting involved in really healthcare. Um, we need competition. Competition is when somebody has complete control over a sector of the economy, they can make the prices whatever the hell they want. And if a government comes in and they start doing price controls, um, that company might not be able to pay its bills anymore. It might not be able to pay its employees. Um, it's just like this shit is. And I was talking to people on Twitter who was, I could see that they're really intelligent in this area, and I didn't, it's this shit is highly complicated. These people are making like books about the Federal Reserve, and it's like 600 pages. Like, this shit is really fucking complex, and it's just like it, trying to hold on to this system, and that's what the conservatives do. Is they're trying to hold on to this system, and the system has evolved into like a socialist mixed bag of socialist capitalism and corruption. You know, that's what it pretty much has. You know, I talked in my book that how we should, how politicians spend all this money. They get all this money, and then some of them siphon money into organizations, and then they end up. It's like money laundering, pretty much. Like, they take their campaign funds and then they give it to like Elon Omar, like, oh, her boyfriend's company, now he's married, so that money pretty much got siphoned back to them. But that's not talked about. That's not dealt with, but that's okay. So there should be more laws that hold these politicians accountable, but there isn't. Um, it's like the stock exchange, like they have this they have this information where the government's gonna go invest in here, and they make all this money, so they just put their money in there and make all this money. Well, like, who's to say that they just don't go and, even if they say that the Congress members can't partake in this, um, in the stock exchange or whatever, stock market, and their spouse can't either. What if they was just to use their kids or a cousin, somebody, a friend, somebody they trust? Well, they could take their money too, but like, who's to say they couldn't use that information? Um, I think that these people need to be, when you start seeing people around them, um, they probably need to be monitored, um, somehow. When you start seeing their bank accounts get, like, these tax people they hired, the 86,000 tax people they hired, they should be investigating these people. That's what they should investigate. But they're going to be coming after us. um I think that, the politicians' financials, when they become a politician, it should all pretty much be, um public knowledge. It's highly complicated. There's a lot of corruption. Even if, like, even if a politician doesn't get money right now, they can still get potential favors from a big corporation down the road, in forms of like speaking events and getting paid a huge amount of money, um, down the road, or book deals. So it's really hard to combat this type of corruption. Um, that's why I think corporations should be eliminated. They should be pretty much banned, and then small companies, because if a big corporation is too big to fail, and you have all these people relying on it, it could hurt people bad, like these banks and all that. If we all decided to do bank runs and to get our monies out of the bank, they would all fail. We would bring the system down to its knees right now. They would have to close down shops if everybody was to do that, because they wouldn't have our money in there. They only keep a certain amount of money. They take the, on paper is they have a ton of money. Digital, they have a bunch of money. But when it comes to physical, money, if we was to all go to the banks and try to pull our money out, they wouldn't give it to us, or they would start closing the doors because they wouldn't be able to do it. Um, so if we wanted to, we can crash the system anytime we want. We just need everybody to do it at the same time. Um, So, like I said, it's really hard to hold. I think that's what I say. Like, if we had small companies, small businesses, a bunch of small businesses. So let's just say, you got this corporation, and it's like it fails and hurts all these people. Well, if you got a bunch of small companies and one of them fail, the other company can either profit big time, or maybe a smaller company be able to come up and take some of their assets and be able to build up, you know, and that creates a lot of competition to make things better, to keep prices at bay. You're selling pork, and I know, like, that's what it comes down to, like brand names and stuff, is people put their everything is going with brands, but I think the future is getting rid of brands. Um, I think the problem is the brands. Um, like Elon, I like Elon. I like what he's doing. He's talking about free speech, but at the same time, he is building monopolies, man. He is like, yeah, SpaceX is competing with other companies, but he's got the Boring Company. He's got Tesla. He's got other companies competing, and he's got Twitter. But he could end up just like innovating way better than all the rest and becoming a big giant corporation, and then he has complete power. So that's bad. Um, it's like it's like on Twitter. Instead of having these people behind the scenes, that are controlling everything, you know, and they're getting paid good salaries to control. Why can't I not like? Why can't something be flagged by AI, and I can vote, and my vote is public, so everyone can see. You can go into the post and you can see it. People can see these posts publicly, but you have to go through some type of sensitive firewall if it's really bad. I mean, if it's illegal, you know, definitely you got to deal with it. But if it's something like, I don't know, I should be able to get compensated by partaking in some type of vote to either allow speech or not. And it's because it's like a jury, like in a court. You can see all the people, not when the court's in process. You can't see the jury, but after it's done, you can. Some of the juries will come out and talk. Some of the jurors will come out and talk. So I should be able to be compensated for having vote, and you leave it up to the people. Um, Instead of these people behind the scenes, which they can control everything. Everything needs to be more transparent, way more transparent. Um, that's what I was talking about on Twitter and social media and stuff like that when it comes to free speech, so you can see who's really you can go into their history and be like, oh, they voted for this, they voted for that. I don't even think that we really even need representatives that go to Congress anymore. Like, seriously, I think that we're getting to a point where, you know, direct, and they say direct democracy is bad, but I think that it would be pretty cool to be able to vote on things myself if I'm contributing to society, when, not on welfare or whatever. Like, I don't have to vote on everything. You know, some type of app can pop up that's like a decentralized app or whatever, and something could pop up in my area, and if I don't want to vote, I don't vote. um, then I can't complain if I don't like the results. But at least my vote really does matter for something. This whole representative type of um, thing that we got going on was very necessary back in the old days when when communication was um, really slow. Uh, I just think that technology um, my votes, I should have my own individual platform that I should have my own individual platform that anybody can see what I voted on, whether it's in the infrastructure, um, I'm talking private. I'm not talking about private companies, but um, you should be able to go see my history on the internet. Everything should be out here for people to go back and look at. There should be a platform, everyone's platform that goes back. Whatever platform they use should be able to go back and you can look at everything that they've ever posted on the internet without like, oh, I'm gonna go into this OnlyFans site, whatever. No, that comes back to to your individual platform. And you shouldn't be able to delete anything either. Once you put it out there, it should be out there forever. Um, unless it's like illegal things, and then obviously you'll be in prison. But yeah, this because like I don't want to just vote. I don't know. Like think about it. Okay, I'm about to vote, right? I don't know what like I'm gonna have to do all this fucking research on all these people in my city and my fucking county and in my fucking state. I have to do all this research on these motherfucking people I really don't fucking care about. And I don't know if they stand for everything I stand for, but at least me having a say so, like that's a lot of fucking work, man. That's a lot of work for people. People got other shit going on besides having to fucking research these people and see if they're gonna vote the way that they want just because they're, that's why people just like, oh, they're a Republican. It's just easier that way or whatever, or they know the popular people. Like, I'm not gonna go to the city council and be like, oh, is this person gonna like, oh, what are they doing all these specific? I don't fucking care, man. I don't care. It's which I should do. But what does it matter? Like, what am I gonna vote for a fucking like? They could lie. Yeah, that's why I just prefer we all decided to vote ourselves on all these policies and where this money's going and you know and everyone can see and I guess there is a problem with people bullying you to and intimidating you to go a certain way because there's privacy in voting. Mm, I don't know, man. That's why an armed society is a polite society, I guess. That's why pretty much everyone should be able to exercise their Second Amendment. Um, um, just like in our Constitution says, We should all be able to fucking carry our guns wherever, man. Everyone should be able to be armed, trained, certainly trained. Perhaps everybody should pass some type of training class like you do when you get a driver's license at a certain age, and that could be 16, whatever. But you should be able to just carry a fucking firearm everywhere. Everywhere. That's what I think. That's what our Constitution says. We shouldn't be, unless it says we shouldn't be able to carry in a fucking government building. I don't think it says that in there. It doesn't say that in the Second Amendment. It doesn't say anything about that. But yeah, that's enough for this video.